This week on Discover Oklahoma. Unveiling a national gem in OKC. Guitar heroes changing lives in Shawnee. A bowling alley where the dude could abide. And a steakhouse with the Babe in its backstory. Come with us to Discover Oklahoma.
Hi, I'm Lauren Nelson.
And I'm Dean Olale. Welcome to the newly renovated First National Center in downtown Oklahoma City.
This Art Deco treasure is one of the most iconic features of the Oklahoma City skyline. But on the inside, it's seen its share of ups and downs. Now we're witnessing a complete rebirth. The 1931 architectural masterpiece had been empty for years and neglected for decades after First National Bank fell in 1986.
Like everybody else, you love the building, but it had I call it a black cloud. Not just because the bank fell. It's 1.1 million square feet of challenge. And so the common theme in the industry was probably can't be redeveloped.
But Gary Brooks says backed by Tinker Federal Credit Union's original loan for what's now the National Hotel, they were able to create a public-private partnership and build upscale apartments and draw top-flight restaurant and retail, all nested around the breathtaking public gathering space in the building's Great Hall.
Jeff Green, Evergreen Architectural Arts, who we hired to do the restoration of the Great Hall and the vault and the entry lobby, won every award in the world for restoring old buildings. One time he said, "This is the most important historic remodel in the country."
Gary Brooks says he's grateful for the team that came together to create this phoenix out of the ashes of First National Bank.
It was a chance to do something that no matter where somebody came from, they would walk in and go, okay, that's cool. Didn't expect that. And maybe it opens opportunities for other businesses, for the state, for the city to show it off and let people know we can do things really well here.
The Great Hall where we're standing is a glorious space, and it's again open for the public to enjoy.
Well, let's go to another glorious space now and enjoy the architecture of the outdoors in an Oklahoma State park. Now, this particular park has an iconic look of its own, which I recently discovered with videographer Tommy Evans.
Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote, "The simple perception of natural forms is a delight." Out of the flat terrain of western Oklahoma, these natural forms called mesas stand majestic, distant, and reclusive, yet retain an aura of mystery. It's fascinating to think this was all made by water centuries ago. Today, as you visit Gloss Mountain State Park, you can see how this creates Oklahoma's diverse terrain.
We hear from people from all over, literally the world, and that sounds surprising because we've had people here from Australia, and they commented, "What does this make you think of, the outback?" We've had people from Canada that have came down here and claimed that they came to this area because they wanted to see the red dirt. And so those are two different combinations of what you see, and really you can go from here to Utah before you'll see anything like the flat top mesas. And not only from the park, but there's pretty much a scenic drive on US 412 from here west to Bouse Junction, and that you'll see the Gloss Mountain chain.
This is an unattended park. There's no lodging or campsites, but many times there's a volunteer here to help visitors. There's also a valuable brochure at the gate, which is also extremely helpful.
The park encompasses 640 acres of land. The biggest, longest mesa is referred to as Cathedral Mountain. Cathedral Mountain is the main mountain that we have built a trail and a staircase to get people's feet off of the ground.
Hiking is the main activity at the park, and it's also a very relaxing place for a family picnic.
Well, I think a lot of people think that Oklahoma is just all flat, and you come out here and walk around a little bit, you make it up the hill there on the Gloss Mountain, and it's beautiful. You can see for miles, and again, you can just see God's creation and all of it, and that's what I think about when I see it.
Another thing you can see while here is the high selenite gypsum content. It looks like shiny glass and can be seen everywhere. There's always a chance you can see some wildlife while visiting Gloss Mountain State Park, from horned toads, mountain boomers, and if you look up, you might see some turkey vultures soaring effortlessly through the sky. But it's important to note, especially as temperatures warm up, there are rattlesnakes and prairie rattlers around this area. You are strongly encouraged to stay on all the main trails when you are here, but always be looking and listening.
Most of the people, when they show up, what's most everyone's goal is to get to the top of the mountain. On a clear day, you can see forever from the top of the mountain.
From the top of the mountain, you can see beauty everywhere. It truly is a peaceful, serene delight.
To plan your visit to Gloss Mountain or any of our beautiful state parks, head to travelok.com and click on State Parks. After your adventures at Gloss Mountain State Park, head to Kid Drug and Gift Shop in Fairview for a chocolate shake and some shopping. Find out more on our Discover Oklahoma YouTube page, where you can watch complete episodes and every story in this show.
Now, Dino, the view from the top of those mesas was gorgeous, and I heard you shot some of that video yourself.
I did, and it was such a pleasure, but I will tell you that Tommy Evans and I did find out it's a bit of a climb. So how about a place to rest and recuperate? We have one coming up.
But first, we've got to take a turn at Dust Bowl Lanes, a bowling alley that will take you back to the Brady Bunch days.
Then we'll head to Shawnee and make some music in a gathering place for local artists.
And you'll experience a combination that has become a beloved part of the Oklahoma restaurant scene: steaks, tabbouleh, and cabbage rolls. Stay with us.
There are some things you just can't contain. Oklahoma Today magazine is bursting with culture. Mind-blowing restaurants, trips, adventures, and so much more. Open your copy, then hit the open road. Unleash your curiosity. Set your spirit free. Subscribe today for only $14.95. Oklahoma Today magazine. Break through the ordinary.
Welcome back to Discover Oklahoma and the historic First National Center, which has been artfully renovated by the same team that helped restore the Jefferson Memorial, this little building in New York called the Empire State Building, dozens of state capitals, including our own.
I love how they've left intact so many of the Art Deco details in this space.
For instance, where we are seated right now, which is the Vintage Teller area, and it's now a restaurant.
Yeah, well, it's a great menu. We look for different outlets in the menu. Where someone wants to come in and get a pizza, absolutely. Someone wants a nice 5-course dinner with the 32-ounce T-bone steak on the table, eggplant parmesan, roasted mushrooms, grilled garlic, absolutely. Pasta, handmade. Start with the spaghetti cacio e pepe. Cacio e pepe literally means cheese and pepper, which is the base of the sauce. Pecorino Romano, black pepper. The charred eggplant dip is made by charring eggplants over the grill, removing the charred part and pureeing it with tahini, spices, and it's served alongside the pizza bianca baked in the pizza oven. The chopped salad is a medley of, it's our interpretation of a chopped salad. There's pickled red onions, arugula, radicchio, romaine, chickpeas, olives, salami. It's just packed full of flavors, delicious. With these steaks, salt and pepper, it's really, you don't need much else. We garnish it with a little fried rosemary, and after the steak is resting, we put a rosemary sprig on top to help impart the flavor. Put a little drizzle of olive oil, a little drizzle of 12-year balsamic vinegar. Let the steak shine. Well, you have this beautiful product. As chefs, we just want to elevate it and serve it, not change it or manipulate it to something that wasn't intended to be. The steak is a steak. I want everyone to have an amazing time, and to me, that's the most important part. If someone comes in and the service is right, and the wine is amazing, and the food is just delicious, if people leave just absolutely glowing, then we've done our job.
Another place harkening back to times past is just down the street from here in OKC's booming Midtown district.
In the heart of OKC's Midtown, the Dust Bowl is in a league of its own. The Funky Lounge is a retro-inspired tribute to the classic bowling alleys from the past.
We wanted them to actually feel like they could come in, sit down, and have like a 70s experience. When you step into the Dust Bowl Lanes and Lounge, everything just screams 1970s, from the vintage lanes to the groovy bar with the retro drinks.
It's a really cool environment, it seems like they're kind of like playing on like that older vibe, kind of like retro. It's really cool.
The far out lanes are the real deal, salvaged from an old bowling alley.
When they closed down, we bought all their lanes and all of their equipment.
Josh Rass brought his family into bowl. and instantly knew what he liked about it.
Kind of the intimacy of it, small lanes. It's kind of a throwback to like the AMC days when I was a kid.
Can you tell a difference bowling on that than anything else?
I don't think my bowling game is good enough to be able to tell much of a difference.
What does make the difference is the decor. It's slammin' with tables and chairs made to look old, and you can hang out in the nifty living room in the corner, taking you back to a time when wood paneling was a thing and TVs didn't hang on the wall.
The velvet print Elvis is pretty cool. You don't see those very often.
We get a lot of comments on, oh my gosh, I have that couch or those picture frames in my grandma's house. Or my grandma still owns that same couch and everyone wants to take pictures on them.
I loved the retro vibe when I first walked in, like with the couches and all the antiques. It was really cool. And it was just really fun to see everybody having fun.
The family-friendly joint turns into a club scene after 8 p.m., only open to those 21 and up.
The music's louder, we have disco balls and black lights to light up.
And the cocktail lounge is ready to serve up some classics.
A lot of our theme was based off of the Big Lebowski, actually. So the bowling alley, the White Russians, because they're actually drank in the movie. The New York Sour is kind of a popular one, and the Rum Runner.
And the popular Mrs. Roper.
Peach vodka, lemonade, and tea, so it's kind of like a peach Arnold Palmer. The Mrs. Roper was actually just named after a character, Mrs. Roper from Three's Company. Not everybody catches that reference.
As for the food, you can order all day and night off the menu.
Hot dogs, hamburgers, tater tots. We're known for our sleepover platter, which is a huge picky sheet full of like all your favorite snacks. It's mozzarella sticks, pizza sticks, mini corn dogs, chicken nuggets, french fries, tater tots.
There's even a VIP room with 2 private lanes for birthdays and other special events.
We have lots of people that come in here dressed in like retro outfits for parties.
Good vibes all around. At the Dust Bowl Lanes and Lounge in Oklahoma City, I'm Deanne Stein for Discover Oklahoma.
You'll find Dust Bowl lanes adjacent to a dozen fun places to play and eat in OKC Midtown District. Find their website at travelok.com, and if it's been a while since you've hit the lanes, you can find 50 other listings for bowling alleys around our state.
Man, Lauren, that bowling alley was noisy.
Well, Dino, all bowling alleys are noisy.
But how are you supposed to hear a pin drop?
That, my friend, was a gutter ball.
I'm sorry, the line was there, I had to take it. But I will tell you this next location was definitely not quiet at all. Videographer Brian Boone and I found it filled with sweet music and some very good people.
Music is a universal experience, one that brings people together from all walks of life. In Shawnee at the Guitar Vault, music is a fun, enriching experience that is not only about community, but about family.
We offer lessons. We offer multiple instruments. We don't just offer guitar. So guitar, ukulele, piano, orchestra instruments, so violin, cello, double bass. And then we also have a drum instructor that comes in. The age gap is really however old they want to get started. So for younger students, probably from like 4, 5, or 6, we usually put them on piano or ukulele, kind of an easier instrument. But if they're ready to jump in and willing to put in the work to do guitar or drums or one of those a little bit harder instruments, then we definitely can get them started.
Your first lesson is free. Carly and her husband Tyler will let you try out different instruments to see what works. But it is also the first step in creating a bond.
And so we do offer that first lesson to where they can come in and try us out. We get to know them. We kind of build a family with all of our students. We run through kind of a game plan a little bit. So we ask them what their goals are, what their long-term, where they see themselves with that instrument.
If someone has never touched an instrument but they want to get involved with music, that is not a problem. As the old saying goes, music is a language all its own. But once you learn how to play, you can participate in various jam sessions on Friday nights where everyone speaks the same musical language. In addition, you can actually shop for instruments here. Tyler, who is a veteran, takes care of that part of the business as well as all repairs. Tyler and Carly are not only active in the community, but here they have created an enjoyable environment for people to learn and play music.
Playing the guitar is kind of, something that I want to do. And my wife gave me some advice. She says, if it brings joy to your heart, do it. Being here, as you can tell, this is a very comfortable place to come.
Good, now go to G.
Mary's teenage son takes lessons, and they have gone beyond just music.
They have really helped my son, not just in his lessons, but in his everyday schooling.
Once again, music has brought people together to form a community connected through music.
But I love encouraging and nurturing those people that really want to play for others, or even just have a place to go where words fail, music speaks. We get a family out of having the Guitar Vault.
In Shawnee at the Guitar Vault for Discover Oklahoma, I'm Dean O'Lally.
The Guitar Vault is just one reason to plan a trip to Shawnee. Grab some grub at Van's Pig Stand, shop at Okie Dokie Mercantile, or peruse the Maybe Guerra Museum. Plan your visit at travelok.com by searching Shawnee. And now from one vault to another.
Well, we are in a bank building after all, so what do they do with its vault?
In about 30 days, we'll open the vault, which is the Library of Distilled Spirits in the basement. We've got 2 beautiful rooms down there, and 4 of the old vaults are part of the experience. 2 different bars and a Mexican theme, food down in the basement. So by about midsummer, all of our retail will be open and all of our food and beverage offerings will be open.
Next, we'll head to a restaurant featured in the current issue of Oklahoma Today magazine.
It's one of a half dozen Lebanese steakhouses around our state that have blended the Okie love of beef with their traditional favorites. We'll be right back.
The free Oklahoma Outdoor Guide is your North Star, lighting your way to jaw-dropping beauty and heart-pumping adventure. Order or download yours today at Travel.
Welcome back to Discover Oklahoma and OKC's beloved First National Bank building, now rechristened as First National Center.
We're in the lobby of what is now the National. It's Oklahoma City's second Marriott Autograph Collection Hotel and will offer 146 guest rooms alongside opulent new apartment homes, great restaurants, and gathering places. The renovation team likes to say the National is where history comes to life.
Where weary souls can find respite is our next stop, a place with the soul of a monastery, explored by Casey Kennedy.
It's beautiful around here.
It's just very peaceful.
It's peaceful, yeah.
Just nice place to stay, good hospitality.
We are a bed and breakfast and an event center. We have 5 rooms and they are all different. We have a bridal suite that actually connects onto our reception/chapel area. We have a very romantic feel in there.
And I love the history of it. The history is kind of intriguing to me.
A group of oilmen built the home in 1926. It was pretty much a giant hangout, speakeasy kind of a thing. You know, Prohibition went on until '59 in Oklahoma. It was the secret hidey hole. The door is still there. It's been filled in, and that lasted until 1935, when Robert S. Kerr, who was a member of the lodge, bought the entire 40-acre estate and the house as his residence. And so Mr. Kerr and his family lived here from 1935 to 1949. They sold the house in 1949 to the Colmore family, and when he passed, Mrs. Colmore sold the house to a group of Orthodox monks from Illinois in the 70s because the monks had a bakery. And the monks were pretty famous. They were on 60 Minutes, they were on Real People, Chicago Tribune. They had a lot of features here because they made their bread. They raised ostriches in conjunction with a program with the Oklahoma City Zoo. And so they were here until the late 80s. And then the home went back into ownership and had pretty much been empty for 10 years when we bought the house.
Each room comes with its own bathrooms. They all have a very private area, very spacious. And then we have the cottage, which is extremely popular because it does sit off by itself, so a lot of privacy. It has its own little small living room, a small kitchen. It's really like a tiny house, but it was actually a servant's quarters at one point in time, so lots of history there.
The rooms are amazing. The space is so unique.
When you get a tour, you just kind of are in different places and you get a feel of different history.
You have options of our paddle boat, which is very popular. We have the dock where people can fish, they can just sit and relax. We have lots of seating around the property. The pool is a big attraction. Inside, we have a great room that consists of a pool table, and we have foosball. We have a living room area, a small kitchen area. We do provide breakfast here, ham and cheese quiche and hash browns, fruit on the side as well. French toast.
I am a scenery guy, so I love the outdoorsiness. I love the lake and all the trees. This is right up my alley.
The Monastery at Forest Lake is an oasis right in the heart of Oklahoma City. You can get to their website at travelok.com/monastery.
Hand-cut steaks, luscious cabbage rolls, and juicy tart tabbouleh. It's a combination Okies love.
Next, we'll take you to a beloved Lebanese steakhouse featured in the latest issue of Oklahoma Today magazine. Be right back.
What's inside our free Oklahoma travel guide? Artistry for all 5 senses, magic around every bend, and powerful waves of inspiration. Order or download yours at travelok.com.
Welcome back to Discover Oklahoma and the newly renovated First National Center. Where we are now used to be the bank president's office.
And now it is the presidential suite in the beautiful hotel known as the National. From one classic to another, Deanne Stein and videographer Tommy Evans take us to Drumright to Joseph's Fine Foods.
Along West Highway 16 in Drumright, there's a long-established steakhouse, but it wasn't always a restaurant.
This used to be a grocery store here. The Lebanese people had a grocery store here.
In the early 1900s, the Joseph family came from Lebanon and opened the grocery store before converting it to a steakhouse in the 50s.
We grew up in the Joseph's family and learned the ways of the business.
In high school, Jamie Martin got his first job here.
I was a bus kid for the Josephs.
Now he's the owner, keeping the family's rich history and recipes alive.
So our core menu doesn't deviate as far as steaks, barbecue, the signature items of tabbouleh and cabbage rolls, hummus, those type of Mediterranean items are the core.
The cabbage rolls, hummus, and tabbouleh are made fresh and from scratch.
They have good fish. The cabbage rolls are outstanding, and the tabbouleh is very good. We get tabbouleh to go sometimes.
And the steaks?
Steak is our primary mission. We use choice or prime steak, ribeye, and tenderloin is what we cut.
Each steak is hand-cut daily and charbroiled the way you like it.
They are superb.
Very popular and a very big draw. We have people drive, on the weekends, come here from miles away to enjoy steak.
Joseph's is first and foremost a steakhouse and very well known for their mouth-watering steaks, but you might be surprised at what dish draws people worldwide.
We have a big fan club of fried bologna.
And that's no baloney. The restaurant is featured in the Oklahoma Nights book series.
We've had emails from the far as away as Australia saying, we can't wait to come eat your bologna sandwich.
Along with the rich history of the restaurant, you will also learn a little about the Great Bambino.
Babe Ruth was in Drumright nearly 100 years ago and played baseball for Drumright.
He also ate fried chicken with a local family.
And he said it was the best fried chicken he ever had.
And is the inspiration behind the Babe Ruth chicken dinner.
I like it. It's crispy. It's really good.
I will admit it wasn't our fried chicken, I don't think, but we do like to promote that for Drumright.
Babe Ruth visit doesn't interest you, maybe the mystique of Bigfoot will.
It goes back to the time of drilling the first oil well and Tom Slick.
His son created a research team to look for the elusive beast here in Drumright.
We attach to that history a little bit and we enjoy the story. And so Bigfoot exists and he believes in you, so we might as well believe in him.
But whatever draws you to Joseph's, Jamie and his crew believe you will be back for the fine food. Discovering Oklahoma and Drumright, I'm Deanne Stein.
You can find more information on Joseph's Fine Foods at travelok.com/Joseph's.
Read more about Oklahoma's Lebanese steakhouses and Bristow's Tabbouleh Festival coming up Saturday, May the 14th in the May-June issue of Oklahoma Today magazine. Plus, much more about the renaissance of the First National Center. Check your local newsstand or go to oklahomatoday.com. Coming up next week, we're headed to sample some sushi in Tulsa.
And I'll take you to a hidden gem in Oklahoma City where you'll be transported to another country during your stay.
We'll check out some artists who are high-flying. Thanks to the folks here at the First National Center for hosting us this week. Be sure and plan a trip to come down, explore, stay the night, and enjoy a meal.
And until next time, remember,
there's always something to discover in Oklahoma.